It's your boy Town the Hood Scholar. It's time to get out your feelings.
Got me in my feelings. Got me in my feelings. Gotta be real with it.
Hold up, bro.
Get up out your feelings for this chopper, make you dance like shit.
I'm gonna ask you some real simple questions and I want some real simple answers. You understand? Now you see now, you know I fucked up, you know that, don't you?
Today, we're gonna talk about the mastery of time. Now, more than ever, we have a greater understanding of the value of time. Time is the only vehicle that flies by and drags its feet. The amount of time it takes to show kindness is the same amount of time that it takes to kill or to spread contagion. Quickly, our time on Earth begins, and sometimes seemingly too quickly, our times can pass. What we do with the time between a dash is our legacy. Time is not fully valued unless every millisecond is understood for the indefinite resource that it is. There is a time to laugh, a time to cry, a time to work, and a time to rest. But at every time, you must be aware of what time it is. A coach's first instructions to their team as they enter competition is to always know time and score. But time comes first because time is the most important component to determining the outcome of the situation. Lost time is the only thing that cannot be recovered, but mastery of time can propel you to unimaginable heights. Check this out to see what I mean.
Today, time management is no longer just logical. Today, time management is emotional. And how our feelings of guilt and fear and worry and anxiety and frustration, those things dictate how we choose to spend our time as much as anything that's in our calendar or on our to-do list. In fact, you can't manage time. Time continues on whether we like it or not. So there is no such thing as time management. Really, there is only self-management. Early time management thought was all about, it was one-dimensional, and it was all based on efficiency. And the idea with efficiency was that if we could develop tools and technology to help us do things faster, then theoretically that would give us more time. Well, there's nothing wrong with efficiency. All things being equal, efficiency is better. And yet there is an unfortunate limitation to efficiency as a strategy for time management. And it's evidenced very well by the fact that we all carry around miniature computers in our pockets, and yet somehow we're still never caught up. And for the last 20 years, this has really been the pervasive mode of thinking as it relates to time management theory. And it's not that there's anything wrong with prioritizing. In fact, prioritizing is as valuable a skill today as it ever has been in history. And yet, even though we throw that word around like it's the end-all be-all to time management theory, well, unfortunately, maybe that's not really the case. Because there is a massive limitation to prioritizing that nobody ever talks about, and that is this. There's nothing about prioritizing that creates more time. All prioritizing does is take item number 7 on your to-do list and it bumps it up to number 1, which is valuable in and of itself, but it doesn't do anything inherently to create more time. Multipliers instead ask the question, what can I do today that would make tomorrow better? What can I do right now that would make the future better? They're making the significance calculation. See, when I say multiply your time, that might sound a little bit superfluous. It might sound like an over-exaggeration, but it really is not. Now, while it is true that we all have the same amount of time inside of one day, 24 hours, 1,440 minutes, 86,400 seconds. And there's nothing that any of us can do to create more time in one day. But that's exactly the problem. That type of thinking is the problem. What we have to do is break out of that paradigm and instead think about tomorrow. And that brings us to the premise for how you multiply time. The way that you multiply time is simple. You multiply your time by giving yourself the emotional permission to spend time on things today that give you more time tomorrow. The significance calculation changes everything.
Basically, beyond love, time is the most valuable resource that we have on earth. We have likely encountered the tools of time management, but intentionality towards your personal goals and values will unlock the realm of time mastery. Life really begins when we understand and value the importance of every moment. Each second becomes an opportunity to move our destiny forward if we can tap into the mastery of time.